Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's September 28th of 2023. It's almost 3 p.m. Tomorrow, I'm hoping that my Verizon device it should get here tomorrow. And then eventually, maybe I will be using Verizon instead of Spectrum and saving a bunch of money. I was digging through some stuff here. I found a printout that I made. It says 4 pages, but there's only 2 pages here. Probably the other 2 pages are buried in one of my boxes here. Apparently I was working on notes for making a YouTube video, I think, but doing a history of Howard's notebook. And it says here, in 1975, I read Popular Electronics magazine, and they had an article in the January 1975 issue about the Atari 8800 computer in kit form. It used the Intel 8080 processor. I wanted a computer but did not feel I was up to building the kit. I've seen in the history of, I don't know, the guy that's Microsoft and some of those other people, maybe Apple and all those, that they mentioned that same, issue of Popular Electronics, and the same thing. That some of them, I'm not sure if they built that kit or if that made them go on to, but I was in that time and saw the same magazine and everything, but of course they went on to, make a name for themselves. It says here I had to wait until 1978 and wait for Radio Shack. They came out with a TRS-80 Model 1 with 4K, yes, 4K, not meg, of memory. Let me, let's see. Let me go up here. Let me leave that and go over here and do Radio Shack Model 1. And there it is. I'll put the link. I'll try to leave. I'll put the link to this. Anyway, I had a Radio Shack Model 1. Then I had the model, the first, well, when they came out with, let's see, I had the Radio Shack, and then I had the 2000. I think they called that the Tandy 2000. I had 2 of those. Now that came with a 10, I think it came with a 10 meg hard drive in it. But anyway, I'll leave the link to this here, and then maybe I'll also, or maybe I ought to jump over here and do, what did I say that was called? Okay. Radio Shack, was it the Tandy 2000? Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Well, I'll go ahead and open it in this page. No, okay, I'll go open this in this page, because I can come and then link to that and talk about. Yep, there it is. I had 2 of those. Anyway, back to my wait a minute, let's see. Nope. I need to bring up, I thought I had set up for a full screen of me, because I know you just want to look at me. Let's see, and let's see. Radio Shack, let's see, in 1982 I started Howard's Notebook at BBS. It was one of the first BBSs in the world. It was online 24/7 from 1982 until it was moved to the World Wide Web. We've been around a long time. In 1982, I got a printer. It cost $726.99. It was the Epson MX80 FT. I'm not sure the date, but I got a Tandy 2000 for $1,156.73. The computer monitor was a green screen, not color, and was $200, $199.95 for the monitor. In 1984, Link Up magazine picked Howard's Notebook as one of the top 10 ports of call for the BBS traveler. In 1985, I paid Tom Wheeler $100 for a BBS program that he wrote for the PC. He had written the program before for the TRS-80 and later the Commodore 64. And I ran a BBS on a C64 for a long time. I talked about Tom Wheeler. He graduated from KU with a degree in computers or something. Well, I think electrical engineering degree. And, he got a computer of some sort, and he called Howard's Notebook, and he didn't know anything about connecting or BBSs really weren't. He didn't know it, so he asked what kind of hardware I had, what kind of software, and the program that I was running and what have you. And then he came over, and I gave him the software that I had written myself in BASIC. And then he came back, he went and rewrote that. And he came back with that, and then bang, I thought, I'm not ever trying to write anything, and just let people like him and others. Let's see, I got a used Commodore 64. Oh, okay. So I had a Commodore 64. In fact, I had several of them. I don't have the date here. I got a Commodore 64, or Commodore SX64. Okay, let's look for that. That was a monster. Let's see. Oops. COM. What am I looking for? Portable, 64. Oops, 64. There it is. Okay. Okay, this was a portable. And this screen was too small to see anything. It was a color screen, but it was too small to really see anything. But, I don't remember ever hooking it to an external monitor. I just tried to read it off of that screen. Man, of course it was nice and sharp. But anyway, I bought one of those. It said it was $1,000 in 1984. I do not remember paying $1,000 for that. I wonder if I got that used. Can't remember now. Wish I'd have wrote this history back a long time ago. I got a TRS-80 Model 100 portable computer sometime around this time, and it was a portable computer. Let's see, I also ran a number of BBS programs that I just kept playing around. I ran RBBS version 12.2 for a short time. I paid $186, and in 1986 I paid $150 for bbs-pc software. I ran it in OS2, the operating system of OS2. That was a great operating system. let's see, in 1987 I tried, I used TBBS version 2.A. Dave Hallis, he was a really nice guy, passed away. He recommended it. In 1987, I paid a $200 for a new 2400 baud modem. In 1987, users of Howard's Notebook were able to do net mail. I was using TBBS version. That was in 3/2 of 87. In 1988, I paid $25 for I'll scroll down and give you something to read there. In 1988, I paid $25 for a quick BBS program written by a teenager. What happened back then, teenagers would be writing BBS programs, and they would write fantastic programs, BBS programs. But then as soon as they were like 16 or 17, something like that, when they got interested in sex and girls, that was it. They went on to, or cars, they went on to something else. So those programs just would, come to an end. In 1988, I paid $25 for remote access BBS software. In 1989, I paid $180 for a Star NX 1000 printer. In 1989, my new Packard Bell PB24T, a 2400 baud modem, cost me $180. In 1990, a new computer, an XT, and a 20 meg hard drive. Let me put this thing on pause here. There's noise in the background from my son. I think it's safe to try again. In 1990, a new computer, an XT, with a 20 meg hard drive, cost $842. Also in 1990, I paid $119 for a Smart 1 2400 baud modem. I got in 1990 for $109 a 72K floppy disk drive. 72K floppy disk drive, and I think that was the big ones, I think. In 1990, I paid, I'm not talking about hard drives, by the way. In 1990, I paid $180 for a Star NX 1000 printer. In 1991, February 2nd of 1991, I was using remote access software. In 1992, I paid $332 for a Seagate 106 meg hard drive. In 1992, I paid $400 for a 14.4 baud modem. In 1992, I was still using OS2 software, or was it in 1994, OS2 Warp version 37. Almost at the end of the page here, but not complete here. In 1993, I was using OMAHUG in Ohio, I think, to bring internet in for users. I had to try and explain to people what the internet was and how to use it. I paid $56.47 to bring it for January to bring in the traffic. I had to call, the long distance bill was extra. And so on, and I think I better stop here. One, because I've read both these sheets, and two, because my son is very loud in the other room. So thank you for watching.